Welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. My name is Doug, and today we're going to make something really special. It's apple dumplings, so stay tuned. Okay, so what are we going to need to make our delicious apple dumplings? Well, first of all, you're going to need puff pastry sheets. I'm using Pepperidge Farm. We're going to use some heavy whipping cream, butter. This is apple pie filling, very important. Cinnamon, ground nutmeg, a little white shimmering sanding sugar. We're also going to need, of course, apples. So I'm using Granny Smith apples. You will need these tools. We're going to use apple core. This is a really good one. This is just kind of scoop out some of the apple inside because we're going to be putting the filling inside the apple. And then we're going to need definitely a peeler to peel the apples and baking dishes. So this is for we're going to bake our apples in the oven for approximately 45 minutes to an hour with the filling inside it. And then we're also going to need 2 baking sheets with some parchment paper because we're going to wrap the puff pastry sheets around the apples. It's going to be so yummy. This is perfect for the fall. You can do this as a little Halloween treat or definitely for Thanksgiving, anytime during the fall. These are just, every time I think of autumn, I think of pumpkin and apples. So I'm so excited to make this with you today. Okay, so after you rinse your apple, make sure you clean your apples, you rinse them, dry them off. We do want the stem on top because it's going to add to the presentation of these apple dumplings, but we want to peel it. So make sure that you take off all the skin. And I'm just using this little strainer here to catch the skin in. You could use a bowl. So I'm going to continue peeling my apples, and when we come back, then I'm going to show you our next step. Okay, so we have our apples that have been peeled. Perfect. Now what we want to do is put on our oven to 350 degrees. We're going to preheat our oven, and then we're going to start. And we're going to start fixing up our apples. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just cut off the top part, almost like it has like a little hat, okay? So see that? And we're going to get our apple core, and I'm going to flip it over to the bottom. And you just want to take out those seeds, just like that. That's why having a really good apple core remover is so important. So then you have this little hole. Now what I like to do with the melon ball, I should say, peeler, is just scoop out just a little bit inside, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to add some of that mixture, that pie filling, all right? So I'm going to do that. See how it's like a hole there? I'm going to do that for the rest of my apples, and then we'll be back to make the filling. So really quick, one more time to show you. Cut the top part off like that, like it has a little hat. And then we're going to get our apple core remover, give it a little twist, pull out. Look at that, takes the whole thing out. Just pop that out. Then you just want to scoop a little bit because we're going to put that filling in there. And you want to scoop more on top, not at the bottom, okay? And that's all it is to it. Then we put that back on like it has a little hat. All right. Okay, really quick, let me show you what they look like before the filling. You can see the little caps. So make sure when you cut, You don't cut all the way there because you want that stem to stay, just like that. And it's okay if that little bit of skin is on there. All right, let's make our filling. Okay, so our filling, I'm using apple pie filling topping. So I'm going to put, and you can see these have apples in it, right? So we definitely want some of that juice. And we're not going to probably use the whole thing. Probably going to use about half of it. Okay, and what we want is, remember those old-fashioned mashed potato mashers? Yeah, we're just going to mash that. Just like that. Perfect. All right, now we're going to add a little bit of cinnamon. So I'm probably using about a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I believe this pie filling already has, it does. It already has cinnamon in it. And then this is ground nutmeg. I'm going to do just a couple of dashes of ground nutmeg. And then just mix that. And remember, you just want those apples to be smashed up. So if your mashed potato smasher didn't get everything, just go with the spoon and kind of break it up a little bit. But that's basically the mixture you want. And it smells great. All right, now we're going to fill our apples. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little teaspoon and I'm just going to put that filling in the apple, probably about 2 scoops. Now you might notice some might come out a little bit at the bottom. Don't worry about that. All right, I'm just going to close that up like that. Put the top back on. We're going to add it back to our baking dish. So once again, the apple, and I'm going to put that back like that. Perfect. Looks good. Perfect. Like that. Any extra that spills over, take it off with a knife. And put that back. And now what we want to do is we're going to add approximately ½ cup of water. Let me see, maybe a little bit more. And we're going to put it in the oven, bake this at 350 degrees for approximately 45 minutes. Okay, so we just took it out of the oven and the home smells so good. It has that baked apple smell. Smells so good. They look great. I'm going to show you up close. Okay, so this is what they look like up close, and they look great. And one thing, if you can get apples that are kind of more straight like that, where you have the top on top, see how this one is slanted? Try your best to get more apples like that. That one, I didn't notice it when I picked it up, but it's okay. It's still going to work. But if you can get ones that are a little bit more straight instead of so slanted, that's what you want. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. So we have to let this cool completely. And once it cools, then we're going to have to wrap it. We get to wrap it in the puff pastry dough. Now, one thing I like to do while it's still hot is I like to add just a very thin slice of butter, and it's going to kind of melt on top of the apple on the top here. Just a very, very thin slice. Just to the top. And let that melt on top of your apple. Perfect. Another thing too, your puff pastry sheets, it says the directions for thawing. It says if you're going to thaw at room temperature, it says remove pastry sheets from the box and outer wrapper, thaw pastry sheets, and the pastry unfolds easily no more than 40 minutes. So it should take about 40 minutes for our apples to totally cool down. And so we're going to take out our puff pastry sheets now and let that thaw out because it has been in the freezer. Okay, so let's take a look at our dough. It's been approximately 35 minutes. So it's a little bit, it said 40 minutes, so we're going to check it out. Another thing too is you want to lightly flour a wooden surface. Let's see if we can open this up. Yeah, I could still feel it's chilled. Yeah. So these are, this is 9 inches. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we are actually going to use 4 sheets because I decided to use 1 per apple. And the reason is I'm going to do kind of like an equilateral triangle. I'm going to cut this with the pizza cutter. This is already 9 inches, 9 inches. But what I want to do is I want to bring this 9 inches. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the extra on that one to make the leaves. Okay, so what I want is an equilateral triangle. So I can see there's 9. So I'm just going to kind of go down to 9 and then bring, it's going to be just a little bit off, but that doesn't matter. All right. So you can see we have this extra here. And this extra could make another apple, but we're going to use it for leaves. All right. So I'm going to use 1 sheet per apple. All right. So I'm going to get one of my apples here, and I'm just going to place it here. And what we want to do is we're going to fold this up just like this. And we're going to kind of pinch the sides together. That's why you might have to roll out yours just a little bit. Just like that. And you can see how important it is to make sure that the triangle is big enough so you can pinch the sides. So if you do about approximately a 9-inch equilateral triangle, that should suffice. But you want to pinch it and hold it a little bit so it sticks together. You know, some people might want to do it too fast and say, oh, it's not holding. You have to hold it together. The heat from your hands will make it stick. Okay, so there's our dumplings. Okay, so we're going to do sort of like an egg wash. So I'm going to just use the 1 egg, just use the yolk. And I'm just going to use the yolk in there. I'm using a little cream, probably like a tablespoon. And we're just going to beat that together. And we're going to brush our apple dumplings with this. Okay, I'm going to brush them with some egg wash. We're actually going to do this twice. And we're going to put this in the refrigerator, let them chill just a little bit. And then we're going to take it out, brush it again, and we're going to do the leaves for it. All right, so you're just going to brush it like that. You can use a pizza cutter or even a knife. Let's use a knife. And you just kind of make a leaf shape. Okay, like that. I'm going to do like 2 leaves per uh, apple dumpling. So I'm going to make, but once you make it, all you do is you just get a knife and you score it. You want to put the veins in the leaves like that. And that's all you do. Let's do another one. And then put the veins. Okay. So we're going to continue making our leaves, and then we're going to put it all together. Okay, so I took my apples out of the refrigerator. I'm going to put more egg on it, and then we're going to add our leaves. And just add the egg on top of that. And I cannot wait to taste these. It's going to be so good. And this would be really nice to make also at Thanksgiving time, but anytime in the fall. One thing you might want to do too is just add just a little bit of the shimmering, sugar. You don't have to do this part. Just makes it look fun and different. So I'm going to do two that has it on it and two that doesn't. All right, let's put them in the oven. Okay, they are done, and I'm just going to brush them with just a little bit of melted butter. Oh wow, they look so great, and they smell fantastic. So I'm just going to add, just for a little color, the melted butter. And they baked for 25 minutes at 400 degrees. So it should be, depending on your oven, it should be about 25 minutes, could be 35 minutes. Like I said, depending on your oven. But they look so great. I just love how they look. Perfect. And I cannot wait to try one. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us today on Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. Remember, if you want that homey vibe, you need to subscribe, and please give this video a like. Until next time, my friends, happy healthy living. Bye-bye. By the way, serve it with vanilla ice cream or whipped cream. So good.